Just weeks out from a provincial election, the BC NDP made a bombshell announcement. Premier David Eby promised he would scrap BC's carbon tax if the federal government dropped its requirement to keep it in place.
We'll remove the carbon tax for everyday British Columbians.
The move surprised a lot of people. BC Conservative leader John Rustad, who opposes that tax, called Eby a flip-flopping liar.
Today we actually saw David Eby come out and he says he's going to be campaigning against his own government's policies.
But is Eby really campaigning against his own government policy? Let's take a walk down political memory lane and see how we got here. The carbon tax was brought in 2008 by the BC Liberals under Premier Gordon Campbell, making BC the first jurisdiction in North America to put a price on carbon emissions. Right from the start, there was opposition. You've probably heard the term axe the tax. It's one of federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre's favorite political slogans.
This is not just a tax at the pump. It's a tax on your heat, a tax on your food.
But Poilievre didn't coin that phrase. It's been around for a while and was uttered in 2008 right here in BC by the NDP.
In Kelowna for a caucus meeting, NDP leader Carol James launched a campaign called Axe the Gas Tax.
Gordon Campbell's gas tax is just going to add pain to the difficulty people are already facing.
At the time, NDP leader Carol James promised she'd dump the tax if she were elected in the 2009 election. She wasn't, and the NDP eventually came around to the idea of a price on carbon. Since Eby came into power, he's defended the tax, especially as it's come under attack by Poilievre. Remember, just a few months ago when Eby said this.
I don't live in the Pierre Poilievre campaign office and baloney factory. I live in British Columbia. I'm the premier. Decisions have consequences.
So if Eby was defending the tax just a few months back, why change course now? Here's what he said.
And I've watched as a series of decisions from the federal government, including unsustainable hikes in the amount of money that people have to pay, exempting certain provinces and products, and treating different provinces differently, has really politicized the issue.
Eby says he still believes in putting a price on carbon and that big industrial polluters need to pay up, especially as inflation is hitting people hard. The governor of the Bank of Canada says the carbon tax has contributed to inflation, but only by around 0.15%. So is this really a flip-flop by the NDP ahead of an election, or a return to its axe the tax roots, allowing Eby to focus on other climate policies that differentiate him from the BC Conservatives? Some political watchers say it's just pragmatic.
BC could not continue to be the only jurisdiction in North America with such a tax. It just would not be economically feasible.
This is a monumental shift in Canadian politics with respect to climate policy, both in British Columbia and nationally. Because what it does, it not only shifts the position in British Columbia, but it undercuts Trudeau's position federally.
After 16 years, a tax on carbon in BC and right across Canada could potentially be coming to an end. Ghoussoub, CBC News, Vancouver.